United a tip to win the title this coming season, but standing in the way on the opening day, a newly promoted Portsmouth. That's right. Who's going to get off to the best possible start? We'll take a little look at it. All of it next. That's right, folks. Back once again with another video. Today is all about predicting the opening day of the 2024-2025 Championship season. We'll get to that in a second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe button. Your one-stop shop for Championship is right here, boys and girls, under one rooski. We're going to predict each and every one of the games this coming season, starting here, match number 1, all the way through to the final in Wembley. Of course, who will be celebrating promoted to the Premier League at the end of the season? We'll get into all of that, of course, in a minute. Big shout out to the VIPs. They are the patrons. You know who you are. And again, if you're new, subscribe, boys and girls. Your one-stop shop is here. So we're going to do it a little bit differently this time. How? Well, I'll tell you in just a second. But let's get the basics covered here, guys, and take a look at the Championship in all its glory. Here we are with a brand new, squeaky clean 2024-2025 Championship season. Let's remind ourselves of the 24 clubs starting right here at the top. The beautiful Blackburn Rovers, joined by Bristol City. Burnley are back. Also joined by Cardiff City, Coventry, Derby County here following their promotion from League One. Hull City, of course, still in the division. Leeds United couldn't get over the line. Joining us again, Luton Town returned from their brief Premier League stint. Hartley tipped Middlesbrough, still here with Carrick at the helm. Millwall, Norwich, Oxford United in the second tier for the first time in a long Time. Plymouth Argyle with Wayne Rooney at the helm. Portsmouth back in the big time, you could say. Preston North End, QPR, Sheffield United relegated as well. Hillsborough's own Sheffield Wednesday, Stoke City, Sunderland, Swansea, Watford, and the Baggies. Now, before we get to the main show, of course, I want to remind you that we do have our very own interactive element where you can try and out-predict me, the Prediction King, each and every week via the old Super Brew. It's 100% free. Get involved, get invested, and of course, follow the instructions with that. But this season, we're trying to do something a little bit special, that's right, and that is introducing a special guest each and every week. And I couldn't have started with a better guest than we have today, and we'll get into all of that in a minute. Of course, that special guest will then go on to the Wall of Fame, the coveted Wall of Fame. And of course, we'll have sort of a cool board at the end of the season just to see who ranked the best. Now, before we jump into that and reveal that guest today, I want to explain the rules. So the rules are simple, folks. We're going to predict each and every one of the 12 matches. And at the end of the predictions, we're going to ask our special guest which result is the 100% certain that'll come in. Basically, a banker. Which result is dead cert to come on here. And then we're going to signify that by sticking their lovely face, next to their result, or that they think will be a banker. And of course, if that does come in, banging on the nose, we'll give him 5 extra points to the possible 12 that he will predict with these results. Moving on to today's special guest. Who is the special guest to get us off to the best possible start? Well, this gentleman has played 600 professional games across the EFL, including the Premier League. He's also represented the Blue and White Halves. That's right, not just represented, he's captain to the team. I'm talking about the one, the only, the Elliot Bennett. That's right. Give him a round of applause. Woo!
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me on.
No, I appreciate the joy is all mine. So we're going to go through the games one by one, starting with our very own, of course, a club very near to our hearts. Of course, Blackburn Rovers. They kick off the Championship campaign up against Derby County at Ewood Park. Rovers been a little bit active in the transfer market of late, bringing in a couple of new faces. We've also said goodbye to Sam Gallagher, a buddy of yours, I'm sure. Yeah. And bit of a feels like a bit of a changing of the guard at Ewood Park at the moment. So where would you? Where's your hat lie on this one? Of course, going to Ewood Park against a newly promoted Derby County.
I would go Blackburn Rovers 2, Derby County 1.
Derby County 1 off the.
And I say that with, I think normally when you got a team getting promoted, you get that kind of bounce. But I know I've seen Derby's, kind of pre-season results haven't been, all that great. I think Blackburn have made some really shrewd signings. Whether they'll be ready in time for the first game, who knows? But I think, they've got, a lot of good young players there. And I think all that maybe was missing last year was a couple of experienced heads when the going gets a little bit tough, just to kind of settle the ship. I'm not saying you have a team full of them, but I think a few in the team is always good, just to so the younger lads can kind of lean on that experience. And I think the signing of Danny Bath, proven Championship centre half. Obviously, I see Kyle McFadzean in also. So I think that's really key areas, and especially with someone like Scotty Wharton out missing now. So you still got Hayden Carter there, but yeah, I think it's some really, really shrewd signings, and I see Blackburn taking this one.
Excellent. Yeah. I'm also going to go with a 2-0 victory for my beloved blue and white halves here. You can currently get odds of 6-5 for Rovers, 21-10 for Derby, and 5-2 for the draw. Moving on, same day, which is Friday, August the 9th. We go to Deepdale, Preston North End, take on Sheffield United. Yeah, boo indeed. Against relegated Sheffield United, a team that has been a little bit shrewd in the transfer market. I don't know if they've got much money to spend, but bringing the likes of Callum O'Hare, Kiefer Moore, all very skillful and talented players. Whereas Preston North End don't seem to have added much quality to their ranks. I think Sam Greenwood is there on loan. If you were a betting man, Benno, which way would you go on that one? Tricky one.
I don't like sitting on the fence, but I'd say a 1-1 draw. I think Sheffield United have always kind of notoriously done well over the last few years in the Championship, but I think they've lost quite a few of their key kind of players in the champ. Like the Ollie Norwoods and people like that. I think they'll might miss them quite a bit. There might be new players that will obviously have to step up to the mark. Deepdale's never the easiest place to go, as much as we don't like them on our side of Lancashire. It's not an easy place to go, and I think start of the season, Sheffield United obviously added a few new players. Might take them a little bit of time to gel. I think they will get up and running Sheffield United at some point in the season. I think Chris Wilder's obviously won the Championship before, knows the club really well. So I think I'd say 1-1 for the first game of the season in that one. Blackburn top of the league Friday night.
Excellent. That's what we want. I'm actually leaning towards a Blades victory on this one. 2-1 victory in my eyes. I just want to throw out you can get odds of 2-1 for Preston to win, 13-10 for Sheffield United. The draw is now 12-5. So moving on to Saturday, we've got some unusual kickoff times for the first game of the season. I'm not sure what the backstory is behind that, but a lot of 12:30 kickoffs. In fact, all of them are 12:30 kickoffs. We're going to go to Wales first. Go to Cardiff City up against Sunderland. Of course, Sunderland with a new manager, Reggie Labrie, who comes in with a bit of mystery. They've also brought in Ivan Pavida coming in from, I think it was Leeds. Cardiff bringing in some experienced heads, Callum Chambers. They got stuck with Elon Bulut, the manager there. Odds currently, I'll throw that out there. Force maybe it'll sway you. 9-5 for Cardiff, 29-20 for Sunderland, 23-10. Where are you going with this one, Elliot?
I think Cardiff win this one. I'm going to go 2-1. Yeah, I think Sunderland often score. So I wouldn't rule them out scoring. They've still got some very talented players, especially at the top end of the pitch. But I do think that Cardiff at home, new season, new challenge. Got the same manager they had last year, obviously, and it might take the new Sunderland manager a bit of time to There's a lot of expectation of that football club, and rightly so. Massive football club with a lot of fans that get packed into the stadium alight, and it might take him a little bit of time to get. They've obviously got a lot of young players in their squad. You're always hoping that you have a good pre-season and going into the games, but I do think that Cardiff will take this one.
Cardiff will take this one from Mr. Bennett there. I'm going to go with a draw myself. Sitting on the fence. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. I take from what you hear there. I'm not too sure about this Reggie Labrie at the moment, but we'll see how it all pans out. Moving over to the MKM Stadium, we have Hull City with new manager on the scene, Tim Waltner, coming from German football, I believe, bringing in the likes of Ryan Giles, Cody Drammer. I think it's been a little bit slow in the transfer market for Hull City to strengthen them. Taking on a Bristol City side with Liam Manning, some big signings. I do like Sinclair Armstrong. I think he's. I was a little bit envious of that as a Rovers fan. I wouldn't mind him putting on the blue and white halves, but he's traded Loftus Road for Thrashton Gate. I do remember a real bad game with Rovers at Bristol City one time. I think it was in your day as well. No, not blaming anybody, but no. It was a tricky game against them, and I've always since that, I think it was a 5-2 or 5 something. at Bristol City. But anyway, regardless about that, where would you go with Hull City against the Bristol City?
I think Hull City win this one 1-0. I'm going to go 1-0 Hull City. I do hear what you're saying about them being a bit slower in the transfer market this year, but I do think that the kind of loan signings they made last year from the Premier League and, Carvalho, Tyler Morton, people like that, I think obviously Ryan Giles obviously now signed there permanently, but he was on loan as well. I do think that they will kind of look to utilise the Premier League loan market, which obviously a lot of them are still on their pre-seasons. So they happen a bit later, but I do think Hull have got the nucleus of a good squad, and I can see them winning this one.
All right, well, it's good because I've gone the other way. Bit of competition there. I've gone with a 1-0 win for Bristol City on the road. There's got to be one away victory at least in the opening day of the season. Got to be. I do like Bristol City.
Loads of them now.
Well, we'll see, but maybe I'd love to see. I'm quite eager to see Sinclair Armstrong, see what he does with this Bristol City side. Liam Manning, very good young coach, working his way up the ranks there. So good opportunity for Bristol City to get off on a right foot. Meanwhile, tricky opening game for newly promoted Portsmouth. They go to Ellen Road, take it on a Leeds United. Leeds United with Daniel Farke still at the helm. Joe Rothwell now in the books at Leeds for loan. What we got at Pompey? Pompey have got in Jordan Archer, experienced keeper. They've also brought in Josh Murphy from Oxford United. Some good players to strengthen a League One or a League One promoted team, maybe running on a bit of momentum. How do you see this? Is it a one way this one, or maybe a surprise?
I think had it been at Fratton Park, I would have gone probably with Portsmouth, just because tough place to go. The momentum that they probably built up from last year, like you said there, Josh Murphy, know him well, really good addition. But I do think that Ellen Road, first day of the season, I don't think Portsmouth will. I think it'll be not comfortable, because that's disrespectful. No game in the Championship's ever really got that comfortable. But I would go 3-1 to Leeds. I think that the kind of freshness of, obviously they got the disappointment at Wembley. Leeds fans massively expectant of their club. Daniel Farke will know that, and I think it'll be a very, very attacking Leeds side that will look to put Portsmouth to the sword early. All
right, I've gone similar on that one. I got a 3-1 win for Leeds. Sorry, I've got 3-0 on Leeds on that one. Just chucking the odds here, 50-19 on for Leeds. Look, strong favourites. 4-1 is the draw. 30-2 is the away win here. Middlesbrough. Many tips for maybe a surprise push or at least a strong push for the top two. Up against Swansea over at the Riverside. Middlesbrough bringing in experienced head Luke Ayling on I think it's on the permanent deal. Not much ins and outs, though, for Middlesbrough, it looks like. But Swansea, bringing in some exciting players. They just signed a Slovakian release from Bordeaux, Zan Vapotnik. Got a lot of good vibes around him. Where are we seeing this one going, you think, on game day one?
Middlesbrough 2-0. Again, Riverside, I've obviously gone for a lot of homes, I think. But I think where you play the first game is quite important, really. First game of the season. Can be, quite a few new familiar faces, unfamiliar faces, signed to the club. It's always good to be at home, I think, get that kind of good feeling that you try and feed off the crowd's energy if they've not had football, their own football club's football for the whole summer. I could see Middlesbrough winning this one. I think Swansea may come good as the season goes on. I think, they've got a very good manager there. His Notts County team were fantastic, Luke Williams. But I do, as you said before, I think Middlesbrough might be a surprise this season, and I could very much see them in and around the playoffs come the end of the season this year.
Yep, I'm siding with you on that one. Going with a 2-1 victory for Middlesbrough. Bookies go with 5-4 on Borough favourites. 5-2 is the draw. 7-2 is the away win. Let's go down to London, down the Den. Millwall take on Watford. Would you call it an old London affair? Greater London, maybe?
Maybe. Yeah,
maybe.
no, Watford's just out. It's just a stop outside, isn't it? Really,
It is. It's just I used to live down that neck of the woods. Millwall, bigger name, Macaulay Langstaff, maybe seeing him at a higher level, been scoring goals for fun for Notts County. Watford, very slow on the transfer market. Don't know if they're going to be active. And Tom Cleverley, young coach, given the full-time job this time around. How will he get on in his first game in the campaign against the always tricky Millwall?
very tricky game. Wish Tom Cleverley well. Obviously, I think he's my age, so it's amazing to see someone of kind of like my year group, my era, really managing at such a good level, really in the Championship straight away. He's going to learn. He's going to learn the hard way in the Championship, that's for sure. But I do think that this will be my first away win prediction today, and I'm going to go with 2-1 Watford.
2-1 Watford. I'm leaning towards a draw on this one. I can't really separate the two sides. Millwall always tricky to go to. I'm going to go with go back on the draw, sit on the fence maybe. 5-4 Millwall, 21-10 is Watford, and 12-5 is the draw. Hopping on over to Oxford, newly promoted via the playoffs, sneaky back against one of your old boys, Norwich City. Yeah. Which way are you going to back your Canaries here, or are you going to back the unfancied Oxford United?
No, I'm going to back the Canaries. I think Josh Murphy leaving them. He was a massive threat for them last year in League One. Obviously, they've made signings as well, so this is not saying that they've got no chance. But I do think Norwich kind of tend to do really well in the Championship. Whether they get promoted or not this season, I don't think so. But I do think they'll always be in and around that top kind of group of teams. Oxford, I don't see that for them this year. I'm sure that their fans would be happy for to stay up, have another year in the Championship would be a massive success for them. But I do think Norwich City win this one 2-0.
2-0. Siding with you as well on this one, Elliot. I'm going to go with a 2-1 away win for the Canaries. I think it's a division above, really. I think the quality Norwich already had. They have strengthened a little bit, bringing in Ben Treseni, a player that was on Rovers books last season on loan, has joined the Canaries on a permanent deal. But yeah, I think it's just the quality is just too different and too much of a in one favour. So 5-4 for Norwich, 90-10 is your Oxford, 13-5 is the draw. But we are both backing the Canaries. Meanwhile, back down to London we go. QPR taking on West Bromwich Albion. QPR strong under Cifuentes last season. West Brom, a bit of a question mark with West Brom. They got Corbehan, good coach, but seems to be a bit of a financial stranglehold on them at the moment. Can't really. They brought in Devante Cole. They've lost Thomas Asante. I thought he's a quality player as well. So it's going to be a bit of a maybe a little bit of a downgrade up top. But Cole scored goals last season, League One, Barnsley. But tricky one, this one. Where are you going on this one, Elliot?
This was probably one of the hardest ones for me to call, really. I think QPR had an awful start to the season, obviously, last year, but came good towards the end. West Brom had a little rally towards the end as well. But I do think that the kind of financial stranglehold on West Brom, who are normally kind of one of the bigger hitting teams in the league, I think that may affect them a little bit. Corberan, as you said, really good coach, gets them playing really good football. I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw. I was swinging towards QPR, but I'm gonna go with the draw.
I'm going with that home. I'm going to go with the QPR victory on that one. Just lead towards. I think West Brom have got the quality there, but I just think opening day of the season. I think West Brom will be, despite the financial situation, still got a lot of quality in there, and they'll still cause a lot of problems. And eventually they'll have a good season. But opening day, go for a little bit of a curveball. And QPR with the victory. Bookies go, 8-5 is QPR, 13-8 is your West Brom, 23-10 is the draw. Moving on to, where are we now? Stoke City just got snapped up Sam Gallagher. He's joined the Potters up against Coventry, who are just, I think they're building themselves a nice looking team at the moment. And under Mark Robbins, bit of reliability there. He's sticking with the, tried and trusted. Could this be the season they break in the top six? Would they start with an opening victory? Yes or no?
Yeah, Coventry win this one 3-1. Really like the business Coventry have done. Really exciting to watch last year whenever I got to see him on the telly. Semi-finalists of the FA Cup. Some really good young players. Stuck with the manager again, which I think is a really good decision. I can't see anything other than a Coventry win. Stoke, really good signing in Galley. See a lot of Blackburn fans will know what Galley can bring to the club. But I do think that I can't look past Stoke's kind of really flirting with relegation last year. I think Coventry will win this one. I think 3-1.
Yeah, I'm leaning in the same direction. 2-1 win for Coventry here. Yeah, they have strengthened a little bit, Stoke, but I just think the Coventry are just riding on a good bit of momentum, good additions as well to the club. So opening day victory, away day as well. They're moving on to Sunday's game. Sheffield Wednesday against Plymouth. A couple of seasons ago, these guys were in the League One, duking it out for the title. Both stuck around last season. Wayne Rooney coming in, Plymouth manager. Wednesday sticking, Danny Roll secured him, padlocked him to the Hillsborough with his $5 million release clause or something. Sheffield, I know it's crazy. Sheffield Wednesday, they've added a few. Plymouth, not so much. Which way are you swinging for this one at Hillsborough on Sunday?
Sheffield Wednesday home win, 2-0. I think Plymouth have lost a couple of players. Like that Dan Scarr, the keeper's left as well. I think that'll be when you take out two kind of big players that were part of your team that got promoted. I think that makes it difficult. Replacing them obviously makes it difficult. Wayne Rooney, new manager at Plymouth, obviously may take a bit of time, may hit the ground running, but we'll obviously have to wait and see. But I do think Sheffield Wednesday at Hillsborough will win this one 2-0.
2-0. I'm also leading the same sort of way. 3-1 win for Sheffield Wednesday. 5-4 on. They're hot favourites for the bookies. 7-2 Plymouth. 5-2 draw. And then finally, Luton Town against them lot down the road. Burnley at Kenilworth Road. Luton on the slow turn on the transfers. Brought in a couple of Shannon Baptiste, experienced head. Rule Waters, youngster there. Burnley spending a bit of cash as they do. Which way did we see
this? Didn't work from last year, did it?
No, it didn't. Thankfully, right back down where they, with us to. I was happy. I was relieved.
I think Luton win this one. Not just because it's Burnley. I think Kenilworth Road, incredibly tough place to play. You only have to ask any Premier League. Most of the Premier League teams that went there last year had a real fight of staying up. I think they become, as the season went on, kind of everyone's other club, wanting them to kind of beat the odds. Small club in the last 10 years, obviously 10 years ago in the conference to being in the Premier League, it's kind of the dream of all football fans. And obviously I would have liked them to stay up, so I think they played with a lot of courage, give it a good go all the time when no one gave them a chance in hell. Everyone thought they'd be down by Christmas, and young manager in Rob Edwards done such a fantastic job. So I'm going to go with 2-1 to Luton.
2-1 to Luton. Excellent. I'm going to go with. I'm sitting on the fence on this one. I'm taking my blue and white glasses off. I think Burnley got a bit of quality. Scott Parker knows the league. He's been very fortuitous, I would say, with the previous stints in this division. But I don't think he'll get the win. I think he'll duke it out to a draw. Luton will make it difficult. Obviously I want the win, but I'm going to be, I'm going to go with the draw. 1-1 on this one. Appreciate that, Elliot. But if you were to say one of those games and one of those predictions is your banker, which one would it be?
Ooh, Leeds
which one's guaranteed to come in?
Leeds at home. Maybe Leeds not the score line, but Leeds at home win.
Leeds at home. Okay. I think my banker was also going to be Leeds, but I'm going to push it. I'm going to go risky and go with Norwich away. Ooh. Okay. So appreciate your time there. And of course, if you were to name 3 either ex-pros or current pros that you would like to see in the hot seat, like yourself, to challenge your scoreline, which you'll get next week, who would it be?
Bradley
Realistic.
Bradley Dack.
Yes.
Danny Graham.
Nice. One more.
King of Ewood.
King of Ewood. Okay.
Yeah, them 3.
Perfect. I'll try and get a hold of them, but I appreciate you giving it. And also, again, this video, any revenue goes to charity. Which charity would you like to donate
any
this to?
special guest that you would like to see
quite close to my
on the
heart,
channel, let me know down below, of course. And I just want to let you know that all ad revenue generated from this video will go to Elliot's designated charity of Prostate Cancer UK. So make it worth his while. To do that, you've got to smash the like, guys. Let's smash the like for Elliot Bennett. Smash the like for Prostate Cancer Charity. Let's get them in the headlines for the right reasons. And of course, come back next time around just to see how well Elliot did. And of course, see if our next guest, whoever that might be, see how well they do next time around. But that is it, my friends. That is what I've got for you today. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like. If you're new, smash your subscribe. Of course, your one-stop shop for Championship is right here. We've got Blackburn Rovers through and through, EFL, up the yin-yang, everything here under one roof. But until then, subscribe, smash the like, catch you later. But until then, we are done.